Good afternoon, Cherries fans. Hope you're well today. 24 hours have passed since yesterday's match against Arsenal. My player ratings are coming up shortly. Plus, we've got some audio submitted opinion as well that I want you to hear about what one of the podcast listeners thought about yesterday's draw. We asked for your 5-word match reports after the game, though. Thank you to everyone that submitted their very quick summaries of the games, and these are they. So Tom Jordan, take it, showed festive fight. Sue, excellent point considering all things. Ian Reid, great atmosphere. Supporters supporting. Fantastic. Mr. Tiggs, take that considering lineup. Take that. I know you like to take that. Steve Hensman, thank F for Dan Gosling. James, proud of hard fought point. Tommy Heffernan's Poodle said, much improved. Pretty happy tonight. Steve Hensman said, stood up by a podcast. Yeah. So basically what that was, I couldn't get to the position in time. 2, at like 4:30, I sort of made the call not to bother. No one had really signalled their intent of being available. And that's why I'm asking for people because I can stand there as much as I like, but if people are in a rush to get home and finish off their turkey, then why do they want to be on camera when they can just voice it on Twitter later? I kind of understand why. Looking to really do it properly in 2020. It's been a sort of trial of sorts this year just to see how it's been going, but we will try to make it more regular, but we do just need to know that there will be some regular contributors. So I apologise for not getting down there. It was very difficult to get out as well. I had the worst seat in the world at the end of the aisle, and oh my God, it takes ages to filter out of them. Anyway, on we go. Jake, Wilson thinking about next club. Interesting you say that. Cherry Chimes, a very useful point gained. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. James AFCB, fought hard for the point. Red and Black 68, we should beat that team. Probably right. Chris Hubble, it was great. Keep Arsenal to a 1-1. Happy VAR. Why was... Simon K, progressive. Query sub-strategy though. AFCB Rob, took the point for once. Sarah Crossley, give the lad a break. Talking about Jack Simpson, I suppose, and there have been a few people on Twitter getting on his back a little bit, but most people are very proud of what he did in an unfamiliar position. So yeah, I'm up with you there. Ashley Patrick, patched up and did all right. Yes, mate. Jack Dog, we did okay considering everything. Now is time for points. Florida Cherries, yeah. Look at the games we've got coming up. I think you're right. Murky, satisfied, but we coulda, shoulda won. Martin, better performance, coulda, shoulda won it. Matt Watts, Jack Stacey's a bargain. Yes. Sarah Crossley, overall happy with a point. She also said, what's up with Callum Wilson? And also Stephen Michael said, better than the Burnley match. So, whilst I didn't get some fan chats in yesterday, we did have some audio opinions submitted for the podcast, so we thought we'd put this on YouTube as well. We'll play out a bit of this on Monday's podcast that covers both games. These were Ashley's opinions after yesterday's 1-1 draw.
Morning, Ashley from the main stand. Just some quick thoughts. Gosling's energy made a big difference yesterday, I thought, and I think he's quickly becoming one of our most underrated players. I don't understand people that think he's not worth his place in the side. He's box to box. We haven't got any other players like that. And he's obviously contributed 2 really important goals recently. Callum, for me, still isn't worth his place in the team. Mepham, I thought, was superb, as he was in a difficult game against Burnley last week. And I think he looks particularly good when he's got a more experienced player by his side. It was great to see Lewis back into his normal position and also actually getting somewhere close to his best. I think his ability to take the ball on the half turn and go forward, he really drives the pace of the game for us, and that's one of the things I think that we're struggling with at the moment, is that ability to move the ball quickly, and him approaching some sort of form makes a big difference to that. He just puts us on the front foot, I think, in perhaps a way that other players don't, apart from Gosling. I think he also contributes well to a better tempo. Simpson, I thought, did really well in the fullback position. To me, he's not a fullback, though he'll never be a fullback. I do worry that he lacks the athleticism to play that position, but I actually thought he did a good job. Jefferson was brilliant as usual. King ran the channels well. He stretches teams. He's a good outlet for us, and unlike Wilson, he's able to keep the ball. His final ball, I thought, lacked quality at times, and with a little bit more composure, we possibly could have nicked the game. We pressed higher, I thought, than we have done in recent games in the first half. However, second half we were a lot more passive, and probably like a lot of people, you could feel that the equaliser was coming, a little bit like last week where you could feel that the Burnley winner was coming. But all in all, I thought we moved the ball a lot quicker, and we showed a fighting spirit that we showed against Chelsea and Burnley, and I think that stands us in good stead in the coming weeks, and I'm really optimistic. So, like the Cherries.
So yeah, if you want to get your opinion in now, obviously we want the fan chats, and you tell us that you want to get involved. But if you want to do it via the podcast and get some audio opinions in, there are a few ways to do it. You can text it in, so either record a voice note on your phone and WhatsApp it over to us. The number is there, so just WhatsApp it, or within WhatsApp, just literally hold your finger on the mic, on the actual mic button for about a minute. Do about a minute maximum, and then record your thoughts and just go for it. Swear, whatever. Or with that voice clip that you record on your phone, you could email it to fans@afcbpodcast.com. That's another way to do it. Or indeed, send us your videos or anything from home via Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Whatever medium you've got. We've got two. So yeah, really good to get your opinions on board. And yeah, broadly, Ashley, I think he's got kind of one of these fans that's, my opinion sort of tally with what he says. So yesterday, I'm pretty much on board with what you said there. So yeah, I think all of those opinions are pretty much justified there. I do think that overall, I'm feeling quite happy with things. One thing I wasn't happy with in particular was the space that Mesut Ozil got. My God, he was just almost strolling through the middle of the park at times, and it was like a fart in a lift. Like everyone sort of cleared around him, and he just strolled through between the lines. Arsenal were very good at that yesterday, but I think we did okay in the end, and we sort of wised up to it. In the second half, we were almost a little bit better defensively, despite the fact that Arsenal had way more possession. So it's a difficult one. I need to watch the highlights again, but overall I'm quite proud of the team. I mean, other results around us have kind of made it not look as good, and I think that's what we're really our opinions are very much moulded by that as well. If all the other teams around us didn't win, if Saints didn't win, Villa didn't get the points, we'd have a healthy 5-point gap, and we would be looking at that, and we'd be all going home happy. But it's just looking at the other results kind of makes it a little bit more fraught, hence there's a little bit more frustration on the Twitter timeline than there usually would be, and I can kind of understand that. But there are matches ahead where we can all come together and cheer on the lads, and I'm hoping that we can certainly put in a shift against the teams that are beatable teams. I say in quotation marks because we know what happens when we play those kind of teams, but maybe it's better this time, who knows. Player ratings, here we go. So Neil Dawson, regular on the podcast, hoping to catch up with him over Christmas, but it just hadn't happened. It's just one of those times. But we're gonna go through his player ratings, and I think these are about right. So Aaron Ramsdale, we're going to give a 7 to. Not much to do, but did it comfortably. I think his save where he came out and smothered after that Jack Simpson short pass in the first half was very good. Put his body on the line and was really good. And he seems to get so angry when his defenders aren't doing the job. And I love a keeper that shows a bit of aggression like that. He's absolutely going into them when they're making mistakes, and we need more voices on the pitch. I think sometimes we're guilty of not being vocal enough, and Steve Cook is always that man. But it's good to have someone that's visibly angry like he is, and he's going to be an England keeper of the future, no doubt about it. Right back, Jack Stacey, take a boot, son. That's my Scottish accent, terrible. Andy Gray, eat your heart out. 9. An outstanding attacking display and really improving defensively. They still managed to get behind him on a couple of occasions, but he's got such an engine. He's a machine, and he was going up and down that right flank. So impressed with him. If we can get the balance of having a proper left back, i.e. Rico, back, and maybe Lloyd Kelly for the future, it's looking promising. It really is looking promising. Now, at the centre of the back, Steve Cook. It was great to have him back. And he won, most things on the ground and in the air. Always very solid. Never afraid to put his body on the line and chucking his body at some of the Arsenal shots yesterday. And what's good is you'd think with having a bit of a poorly wrist or whatever it is, I know it's been strapped up and he's probably had some kind of pain relief for it, but he didn't look a player that he was kind of worrying about it. He just went in full throttle, but I wouldn't expect anything less of the guy. So an 8 for Steve Cook. Jack Stacey, by the way, if I didn't say it earlier, 9. Definite 9. Chris Mepham, solid yesterday. Quite influential. I think he's been improving game on game. So, yeah, Meps did well. I'm going to give him an 8, or Neil's going to give him an 8. Really, really solid performance, and he seems to be growing with every game, and he needs more games. Jack Simpson, he did his best. Neil's given him a 5. I'm going to give him a 6, actually. He was exposed down that right flank, down Arsenal's right flank, but he did fairly well. A few of his balls out were not particularly great. I think he could have just looped it sort of over the Arsenal midfield and maybe tried to put Josh or Callum in at times, but often went for the short ball. Quite conservative. He always seemed to be facing his goal more than he did the other side of the pitch. He's not that kind of naturally offensive player, but I'm going to give him a 6 for that. I thought he did all right. Josh King, 7. Lively. Looked good down that wing. I don't know if he got injured or whatever, but his substitution was a shame. But Harry Wilson also did all right when he came on with swapping Fraser to the other side. Some people saying that Josh King looked awful. I think at times his kind of flicks in the middle of the pitch are not needed. Sometimes he's holding the ball up and using his strength on the edge of our own penalty box, and he got away with one yesterday, but there are many times where he tries a flick or just tries something stupid and loses possession. Do it up the other end by all means, but not there, Josh. And there are a few times where he was intercepted, but overall I think he did alright, and having that burst down the left hand side, really good. In the middle of the pitch, who else do we have? We had Cook, 6, Lewis Cook. Some poor passing. He kind of has that low centre of gravity and looks kind of like a decent player when he's on the ball, but his distribution wasn't the greatest. Lost the ball a few times, so a 6 for Cook yesterday. Lerma, amazing, 8. He is the boss. Great tackling. There are times where the ball sort of went loose and he was the one to pick it up. I thought he did really well. He doesn't even seem to be sprinting, yet he outpaces his markers. He's so strong, puts in a challenge. Picked up a yellow yesterday, which was probably one of those tactical ones that was needed, but I thought, worthy of an 8. Dan Gosling, he did run out of steam a little bit, but first half, phenomenal. His tackle set up his own goal. Arsenal were kind of locked in their own half trying to play it out. I think David Luiz ended up playing it out, but then Arsenal got intercepted. It was Dan Gosling, and then his first thought gets straight into the box and he reaps the rewards. Brilliant, Dan. 7. Thanks, mate. Ryan Fraser, yesterday a lot better, a lot more direct. His work rate was really good. Some of his deliveries into the box not particularly good. I'm going to give him an 8 yesterday. 8 for Ryan Fraser. Callum Wilson, hold up play not good. Too many flicks. Second half marginally better. 5. He had, there were a lot of slack moments. He did have a shot or two. One of those on the volley that kind of could have, if it just fell a little bit more. It was close to his body, so it was almost a shot that he had to take high up and didn't have much kind of in terms of backlift or whatever. So he sort of couldn't get over it as much, so it went over. But it was a decent strike on goal. But it just doesn't seem to be showing that fight and that grit at the moment. 5. Yeah, sounds about right. And that's about it. I think it was a fair result. Arsenal had a lot of space. They probably could have, you know, Arsenal fans are probably looking at thinking 3 drop points, given the chance that they missed, but Bournemouth are thinking the same. So on that basis, you've got to say a draw is probably about right. Let me know what you think in your player ratings. I need to really watch the game again, but will there even be any time to? We're straight on to Brighton. Looking forward to Brighton. There'll be a vlog on this channel and no preview as such because it's such a quick turnaround. We've got no idea who's going to be fit or whatever. I expect something very similar to the Arsenal game. I can't imagine too many changes given the personnel that we've got out. So it's going to be a tough test on their fitness levels, but they working so hard in training that I'm sure we can pull through that, and wouldn't it be great to come away with a decent performance. Looking forward to seeing you at the Amex. Brighton themselves, looking relatively tasty as well. Lost 2-1 to Spurs on Boxing Day. However, Graham Potter's got them organised, but like I say, they're that team that will play football, and we do better against those teams. Perhaps not another 5-0 like last season, but hoping for a good one. We'll see you at the Amex. Until then, take care and up the cherries.